So, this new Ice Spice album it's not good. That's just to put it simply. I know I probably could have waited a little bit to say that, but this new album it isn't good, but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. But this is the debut studio album of the one, the only Ice Spice, who in 2023, which was definitely her year, she blew up on the scene with freaking Munch, which was just everywhere. Everyone was listening to it. You had guys like Joe Budden rapping about it. Not rapping about it, but raving about it. Became popular. There became this entire thing of whether she's an industry plant or not, which that's not really discussion of this video. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter that much to me, but she had released an EP, she has released a couple singles, and it was all in anticipation for her debut studio album to see what she would do with this. Whereas some people wrote her off instantly, some people liked her, some people like me were just very neutral on it. Like I didn't really necessarily like Munch, but I also didn't hate it, and I was open minded. I said that she had a lot of like star potential and could probably get a lot of publicity, fame out of it, more than she already has. And I thought that there was at least a small chance that she could make something out of this, get a studio album. She even had a freaking collab with Taylor Swift in 2023, which is probably the peak of the Taylor Swift hype train, still is to this day. But it was all in anticipation of the studio album, and in 2024 she releases Think You the Shit Fart, which just, it was a pretty big meme, and honestly was kind of shocked by it, of just how it was a song. And surprisingly, this album it just doesn't feel like an album, as it's shorter than the EP that was released, which, we were kind of, at least for me, I was kind of hoping for a little more. I wanted like at least 30 minutes just to kind of get an idea, at least longer than the EP. Like this album is around like 23 minutes, I believe, of it. It's just none of the songs really exceed like 3 minutes. Like I don't think any song actually reached 3 minutes. And no song can really get going, no song really has any major substance to it, to where it only needs that 2 minutes. And I feel like if they would have even extending the time probably would not help it, as this album just has very just poor beats. Like for when people are trying to make this girl a star, and she also is picking this stuff, I don't understand what it is with picking like the most YouTube generated type beats. Like you probably looked up Nicki Minaj type beat on YouTube, and then you were like, let's add a little reverb to this maybe, and then just slap Ice Spice's vocals over this, and you got a song. That's basically what it was. The features on this album, which just honestly, like, none of them are good. There's only 3 on this album, and none of them are good, like their performances on it, which is shocking considering you had guys like Gunna and Travis Scott on it. And they're honestly, I feel like they're just there for name value, to kind of take a little piece of like the Ice Spice like popularity while it's there. I know they're bigger stars than Ice Spice, but you get the idea of like connecting to it, hopefully writing to it. It's like connecting to Taylor Swift for this. But they just did not do good on it. Like, no real part of it. I don't even know if Travis Scott had any involved in like the production of it. I would hope not, because that would be a big like black eye on your production skills. Central C is also on one of the tracks. She doesn't really do good on it either. Was just not too good on this. Just even from like the start of the album, the song like Fat Butt, which just has probably one of the most boring beats I've heard in 2024. Like, it matches the J. Cole mixtape, like the Might Delete Later, of those just boring vanilla beats that no one cares about. And and the most annoying thing is, Ice Spice has this very like obvious Nicki Minaj flow that's like 100% taken from like Pink Friday 2, which, yes, that's in basically every Ice Spice song on this album and a bunch of others, but it becomes even more hilarious and ironic when she then goes on to claim that other like female artists and just artists in general are copying or stealing her flow when she's doing that to Nicki Minaj. So it's did her PR team not think of this? Like, have they never heard Nicki Minaj? Like, it's shocking to me. And then I think this is the funniest one. This is probably the most comedic moment of this album. She brags that she doesn't need a ghostwriter, which, considering that's the same album that has the song "Think You the Shit Fart," which will be a big example. Maybe it was like a cry for help instead. That like, please get me a ghostwriter. I want to have a career. Like it, the claiming of saying like that you don't need a ghostwriter, which is more prevalent as more and more rappers and artists in general use ghostwriters of it, not to like name names or anything. A lot of them use it to claim like I don't need a ghostwriter, I don't need any of that. That is generally a pretty good claim to make, as it like bolsters yourself, especially that. But that generally comes with the assumption that that means your bars are also worth something. That there's actually not even that they need to be like the philosophical, but they at least have to have something to them, whether it be like wordplay, where they use like double entendres of that. They might have a more lyrical like flow to it that match with it well, not just like poop jokes. Basically, is I guess what I'm trying to say. It's just not good throughout the album. There's no deviation through this. Like it starts off bad and it doesn't deviate from the plan. And I'm honestly shocked at this. Like, if you didn't like Ice Spice of that, you can at least say that her EP and her previous work, like obviously she only had the EP and then a couple of singles, are far better than this album. And this is, I'm not an Ice Spice fan, but you have to admit that like this is a huge downgrade of it. It's just not a good look. I know her popularity's been going down a bit. I'm shocked at how like poor this album turned out for the weight that it had with it, the promotion of it, how much like Rolling Stones magazine were posting about it, and then this is kind of what we got from it. It's shocking, and and then just another thing on this, which just the fucking hooks on this album, like genuinely, none of them are good. They're just these piss poor hooks throughout the album, and I'm gonna be honest, I could not imagine someone shaking their ass to none of these songs. For an album that is supposed to give off this like kind of club rap of that and like entire image of like shaking your ass, partying of it, this album just makes me want to like turn the album off, go home and read a book. No music, nothing, just do that. And that's really where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to give this album a 2. That's about it. Bye.